everything. Brother. My. How you doing? All right.
Good evening, sir.
You got another gadget, huh?
Oh,
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
I just came in and I said, don't sit down. Go over the fridge. Let me take that low stool. Sit up here. Oh, I'm the only one don't have a camera. It's okay.
That good?
What's going on? What's going on, man? You got
Well, I
this
just got
statue.
into this little gadget. Quite amazing.
Everybody looking at
I mean, this thing goes from there, that's 27.
How many megapixels?
And that is 10. And that's like 486. It's like fascinating. Its electronic viewfinders are kind of like not happy. They definitely need some improvement, but when you look at the screen in wide angle, it's hard to see it focus, but it's got some kind of focusing system that's quite astonishing.
I still got to do like this.
Mm-hmm. 18x. Whoa. Series zoom.
I'm still. I was just telling them, I'm thinking about
You know what's happening? It feels, at first it feels like it's
getting like as many
nothing there, but it's
megapixels as
something
I can
there.
afford. But there's no more Polaroids. So I'm still walking around shooting 4x5. There's no Polaroids. And I don't know
4x5.
what I'm doing till I see the film. And actually, you know what?
Hard to believe, but facts are facts.
4x5.
Yeah, I'm a creature of habit. But my son's looking at me like I'm a dinosaur. You wanna know why? Why are you like this? Stick your head under the thing. Why don't you just get a
You know, it's
serious megapixel?
it's a whole thing that's going on, you know, and part of it is like what we've been accustomed to. You know, we got a thing about equipment.
But early on,
It's
you
not
kind of
really-
like, you made the step over into the digital world.
That's
But see, in your case,
that's from here.
in your case, you were always thinking like this.
The tent.
Yeah, in terms of the kind of images
Yeah,
that you were
yeah.
making.
Yeah,
So-
it sort of like leans that way a little
So
bit.
it's
but I
kind of
just-
like the medium has caught up to you.
No, it records.
So I'm always trying to get something working in another direction, right? Now the work he's doing is in this area here. Is it possible to blend this in with the project?
How so?
Art, abstract, with realism, which will you be doing? two different views. This is New York in a different perspective.
It's hard. And you know, one of the reasons it's hard,
Yes, check these out.
no one, the vocabulary to talk about this work,
There's what?
the vocabulary to talk about this work, no one ever figured out what the vocabulary was to talk about this work.
Well, I think we get too dependent on vocabulary anyway for everything, you know. And when it comes to art, you know, or anything really for that matter that steps outside of the boundaries, then people try to justify their emotions toward it, whether they for it or against it, you know. And when it comes to art, I think even more so, even though people talk about fairness and giving credence to everybody's differences, what they might be, but on all levels, we don't do that. You
And
know?
I think it's harder for photography because in spite of photography's ability to do this, I think people are more able to talk about this in the context of a painting than a photograph. Because
Well,
painting, people always assume that there's an
photographs-
assumption in painting that you're making it up.
Well, you know, the thing about paintings and photographs is like, sometimes people say paintings in relationship to a photograph as if like the photograph is accepted or moved into a higher realm, but all photographs to me are paintings. You know, sometimes the photographer, depending on what he's doing and the requirements, sometimes he starts circumventing his own introspection to what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And once that happens, then you start losing the qualities of the painterishness. But that becomes commercial work, or, you know, sometimes you do PR work, they're not interested in lights and shadows. They want just a straight, full, you know, bright lit, sharp picture. And
Is that large picture I just saw there? That's one of these, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was really nice.
that's what I'm talking about. There's two areas Mr. Fred Floyd works in. One is in his area, the other is in the popular cultures area. Most of his images fit into the pop culture area. So there's a language for pop cult, because it continues from other people all the way to the guy who did the stuff on the walls, you know, the movement stuff. That's pop culture. So all his work is about popular culture. You just have to take his technique out of it, sorry to say, and then it pops right out. This piece here, in a size, say 40 by 80, then it comes alive.
Yeah.
Because first of all, the quality's there. What I mean by the quality, the resolution. The picture you see in the gallery there, how many megabytes is that piece there? How many did you put in there?
well, I shot that on a 10 megapixel also.
10 megapixel, and then what was the scan?
The scan wasn't quite the way I wanted to do it, because they have a thing with this RIP software where you modify the true resolution to fit inside of the parameters of a programmer, where he wants people to interact with his.
Yeah,
That would fit down there.
Yeah, I mean, I felt
Now
like
think about that, and you know, like the quality that you see in the framed piece. Okay.
But see, the thing about the true resolution is, irregardless, when you really make the picture bigger, you're supposed to make the resolution smaller. With some of these in-house people, they have their own ideas on technique based on.
We got a little war going on here, so we won't get into that.
Okay. Basically, what I was saying though is that picture in the gallery could have been a little bit sharper.
Thank you.
it'd be interesting to see a group of those.
That's
like
right.
that.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. The idea. Even larger. More. I mean, their realism.
Where was that printed?
His buddy printed it.
What's that again?
Your friend printed that print, right? The print
Yeah.
at the gallery.
Yeah.
Your friend printed it.
Yeah, it's the guy up on. Up in the
But you didn't
bottom.
like the way he did it.
Uh, no, because I read up on, some of the things he was saying.
So you could make it better, is what you're
He's very
saying.
knowledgeable, but he's just got a little bit of stiff.
But you could make it better, though. Okay.
Something better.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Is that the same one you had at the gallery the other night? He Bells? This piece?
No.
You got a collection of them, huh?
I know. Winston came by with this about 2 weeks ago, right? I'm looking, right? Then I said, how much is it? He said, $129. I said, put one on the side for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back up there, and this is much smaller than his, a later version, for $109.
Does it have a zoom?
It's for shit, the zoom lens.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the first time I saw this in Times Square. After having been out of New York for years, and then I stayed in this little cheap hotel in Times Square, right on 43rd Street. About 9 or 10 o'clock at night, I come out, and this is what I see. And I've never seen that before. I mean, this is a whole new Times Square. I mean, folks used to hang out, but just the way it looked.
Not like that no more.
Yeah.
It's like you can't get down the sidewalk.
I was like, wow, I done missed something. And then, you're photographing.
Yeah,
that.
you getting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perfectly normal. When did you start these Times Square pictures? When did you start working on those? Or you've been working on them for quite a while?
99, with the century turning, I sort of like got into going up there. And in the last few years, I've been concentrating a little bit more. Anybody want some coffee?
I'm okay, thanks.
The crazy thing is, what are they doing?
Ain't about that.
I know, they're not doing nothing. They're just experiencing being there.
Yeah. It's a wonderment.
Yeah, because the first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, I took out my camera phone and started making pictures, man. I was like, it was just so otherworldly. I wanted to be able to show my son. I felt like I was on the moon, and I needed to be able to take a picture to show my son what it looked like on the moon, you know? Then I realized, when the weather's right, at a certain time at night, it looked like this every night. You know.
Most people ignore it. People who live in New York ignore it. They go, they go someplace else. Can't deal with that. So most people don't know.
Folks coming from all over the world to experience it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a group of these printed like that.
Yeah, it's a very small percentage of people, New Yorkers, native New Yorkers, that deal with Times Square. Most New Yorkers think it's corny.
Well,
Times Square? Yeah, shit.
go in there. Shake your head. Huh?
This guy, he represents everybody who's there. That's what they all kind of feel like.
Yeah. Showbiz.
It's funny because this is also like back in the day when Renegran and all of those photographers were congregating on 57th Street and Fifth Avenue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is what they would describe, just
Mhm.
people being
Mhm.
somewhere.
Mhm.
But the density was never
Yeah.
anything
No.
like this.
No. No.
Anybody to take a picture, keep making a picture of yourself.
I'm here. Is that something? Years of sacrifice.
Hmm?
Say, this is years of sacrifice.
Somebody got to do it, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody else done moved on to something else and just disappeared.
Don't went bankrupt.
I can't believe it.
So the program that you're working on,
Came to talk to these folks about this Wall Street project. Construction sites around Wall Street. And they have an idea for me to use what they kept saying, the human face, to somehow take these construction sites and humanize them. So I just came in to have the first conversation with them. They've been asking me to come and talk to them for months. I won't seem too anxious or too eager.
so is it going to be a project with multiple photographers or?
No, the other artists are all painters, and one person does text pieces. The rest of them are not going to be photographs. And I don't even know who the other ones are, but they did tell me that they were considering my work because I work with the human subject, and they figure my thing translates very easily to what they're looking for. Probably better than anything else that they're considering. So
it's going to
we
be.
haven't signed off on that. I'm just feeling them out. I told them get back to me about the budget. Let me know exactly what you're talking about. Like, and they said they can't really let me know exactly because it's not up to them which construction site the work will go on. That's more about the idea and what does it cost to fabricate one of these things, and then they will multiply that times however many have to actually be fabricated depending on the site. And the thing is to make enough work so that whatever the site ends up being, if it can accommodate 10 pieces because it's just the front, or if it can accommodate 20 or 30, whatever.
So what is the ultimate results of the project going to be? An exhibit?
They said it has to be done and installed a year from right now, like April 2010. So you just got to keep going back and forth. The first, every time I meet with folks like that, the first time they never want to talk numbers. They ask me, so how much would you want to do that? I said, don't be shy about telling me how much you have. I said, 'cause I'm not going to say nothing. I said, the way it works, you're going to have to propose a figure. And I will tell you if that figure's enough to do it. Or if it's not enough, I'll tell you what I could do for that amount of money. They got to live there. I'm 55 years old. I don't
One
have
of them niggas here.
I-
Goddamn, who brought this guy?
I don't play the guessing game. What do you mean, how much do I want? You want me to say something like 10,000 and you actually got 50? I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say nothing. You tell me what you have, and I'll tell you what I can do for that amount of money. I'm too old for that guessing game nonsense.
Yeah, that's all we
Even
do.
when I was young, I would have been caught off guard and felt like I had to come up with a number and tell them something.
Get off.
You called me, I didn't call you, so, tell me what you got, and I'll tell you what I can do for that, if I can do it. So they're going to work up their numbers, get back to me, and then,
Yeah, well, it was almost the same like
I'll
when
come and have another conversation with them.
it's the same like when you have people selling shit that's high. You know, they always like they don't say anything. They just present it to who they trying to sell it, and the person
What they can get.
might be the prospective buyer. He says, like, "How much do you want?" But in actuality, the person selling the stolen shit should say like, "This is $35." You know,
Right.
and then he can go from there. If the person don't want to give that, but they'll give it to him, won't say nothing, and then they say he might offer more. And
That's right. Heavy duty stuff.
He $50 for that. He want 35. He says, "Oh, okay." You know. So they do the same thing in our world. They just like say, "How much do you want?" And they might have $30,000 for a project, and you say 25, and then somebody's got the $5,000 and shit.
Exactly. And they're looking to make money,
Yeah.
too.
Hell, I think we can squeeze that in. Yes, you can. With room
They
that's
got
there.
30 and you say 10, they made 20.
Yeah. But unfortunately, that's what I was talking about when we have a thing about this abrasion to like openness and fairness and honesty. And everywhere, everything we do, man, we always got to.
Like Obama said, everybody got to reinvent themselves and figure out how they're going to survive.
Yeah.
It's all about that now.
That's
Back
That's
to
what's
the
going
80s.
on. Yeah, it's just like, start with fair. You know, when you think about being fair, it works for you. It benefits the person first that says, I'm going to be fair. He starts benefiting when he makes up his mind he's going to do that. Then whatever he does after that is going to be icing. But a lot of people think when they do the right and fair thing, they doing somebody a favor. They doing themselves a favor.
So I've been negotiating with him for about 20 years now. On the fairness table, right? He do me one, I got to do another, right? So I got in trouble with the computer. I mean, like, it is the worst. Working in the computer world, it's the worst because there's nothing you can do. It's inside, and something goes wrong. What are you gonna do? You can't go in there. You go in there and like, I fucked up the whole system. So now I gotta get out. I gotta put my scanner back online. How do I get my scanner into the PC that's coming out of the Mac with SCSI cable?
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, we got a whole.
We live in the digital world. We switched over from chemicals. No more D76. No more. It's all about this now.
I'm not
It's all about this. This. I mean this. I mean like. This is what I do now. I put this thing in the computer and all this weird stuff go in with it. Got to put the software in. I asked Winston. Winston works in the store. He don't know a fucking thing about the camera. He sells them. He don't know how to use it. He don't know how to use it. I got to tell him what to do. Did you put the CD in the computer? That's the only way this camera's going to work. No, I was wondering why I couldn't get the images. Proprietary. I just happen to write software that these people made who put the software in here in my computer. They got ARC source.
Who is that? What's the brand of that?
No, you don't ask that no more.
What is it?
You don't ask. The Chinese have fucked everybody. Seriously, fucked everybody. $109. 11 megapixel camera in there. HD TV, HD widescreen in here.
Wow.
And 8 gigabytes of storage.
And that everything.
It's a whole nother thing, though. Just like this camera
8
here.
gigabytes of storage.
Little pocket
8
size.
gigabytes of storage. I get high definition images out of this fucking little thing here. The only problem being I had to get something to hold on to it.
Yeah, ain't nothing to hold on to.
This shit ain't really little, man. It's the same with this. This thing does movies, it got sound. I mean, it's got a 20x zoom on it, and it only goes out that far. It's almost like...
You guys are there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's like going in...
With him, I was able to make the transition. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to make the transition. When I get into trouble, I'm on the telephone. I got Flyod all the way over my line. All the calls I made was to him. Finally figure out what to do. You go down to Fulton Street. There's a place across the street from Radio Shack. And you go up 4 floors on the elevator, the Harley moves going up. And when you get up there, you walk in, there's this little place there, and there's the counter there, and there's all these weird wires around. The guy comes out, like looking at you like, how'd you get here?
You gotta get this stuff too.
If what you want, you ain't got it, they can make it.
They make it, whatever. He's pulling out all kind of shit, right? I'm looking. I say, wait a minute, wait. Do you have an adapter? He said, oh yeah. He goes back in, and 15 minutes later comes back with an adapter.
They got so much stuff that they dizzy down there, man. It's just like, they got so much stuff they almost stupefied with it and shit, They ask for something, they say, yeah, we got that.
Somewhere. And then the guy who owns the place, this place has been there since computers came out. You have to connect everything. You still got to connect everything. The hardwired connect everything. All the servers, they have to be hardwired connected. This guy's making a fortune. But, he's like you refuse to move.
I move on to something else. I didn't deal with all of that.
Well, if you like big cameras,
I get to come.
Phase 1, and Leica just did a camera called a Leica S2. And it's a 39 megapixel. And it's equivalent to more than an 8x10 easy.
A 39 megapixel.
It's made just like a 35, except it's big. But it's got some lines and,
See, that's what I should have instead of worrying about.
But it's expensive though.
Yes.
It's about 5.
He could afford it.
It's $40,000.
He could afford it.
$40,000.
You could afford it.
Yeah.
You could afford it. It will make you money if you really want to do it. You just take the chip out and put it in the computer. Boom, it's in there.
But if you like view camera,
That fast.
yeah.
Somebody behind the scene, they mashed the button because the printout will come out of the thing in 15 minutes. 40 by 80. Like that. No more of this, no more of that, no more of that. No, it's all about this now.
It has one in there. That size, you can do the same thing. You could, from there that you could do with an 8x10 negative. Or slide. And you can put about...
So let's show you. Like I need a 4 gig memory card. Yeah, man. 1 gig used to be $150. Now you can get a 1 gig for like $59. Man, I need a 4 gig card.
Now they $5.
8 gigabytes
They kind of set
for
us up
$20.
with this, just like this small camera stuff. See, they getting ready to come out with a small camera that has all of the guts and the shit like a big camera, and they're gonna just like, because everybody's sort of like drifting into this. Then they're gonna say, "Look what we got now," and they got people going, man. It's like you've been in prison for 20 years, and they take your blindfold out, you in the Playboy bunny room and shit. They got us going, man. They said, "Damn, we got the motherfuckers. This easy. Don't worry, we got the upper hand and shit." And they do. They come out with some new shit.
No, ain't about that. It's Chinese. They don't need no name. They realize, as long as they have an inlet in the market, it'll find its way in there. These are hard to get now. people who knew, it's like the people who got those little small cameras during the 80s.
Yeah.
The little small megapixel cameras during the 80s. Every job they shot, they took that little camera out and took pictures with it. Took it home and used those images instead of the big images. It's the same thing now.
But they had us hoodwinked all along. Like when we were kids, you know, shit from the Orient was like, where'd you get that garbage from? You know, now we find out that they was on top of the shit all along. And we snubbing them. You got this girl from Japan.
See, that was Annie Leibovitz problem. She didn't need all that other stuff.
No.
She could have just shown up with that.
No.
But instead, she got
It's a show. It's a show. It's an old-fashioned show.
Showtime.
You come in the studio, this big old 8x10 Cena sitting up there on like a Majestic tripod that's worth more than the camera, right?
They just got a whole thing.
You go to the digital studio, the guy sits at the computer, got everything is automated. He moves in with the camera. You focus the camera. He sets it all up. Meantime, somebody like in California is watching what he's doing and tell him, okay, we like that, okay, we like that, okay, we like that. Okay, that's it. Boom.
By the time Leibovitz caught up to that, she was already running out of money.
Yeah. All right. I guess we get ready to eat.
Yeah, because I'm going to have to hit to the airport in not too long.
Okay.
So whatever.
I'm even staying overnight.
Okay.
Whatever's going on, man, I'll be glad to be part of it.
Yeah, I would love to see more of those. How expensive is that large print to make? 'Cause that looks nice.
$150
Yeah.
159 what?
to have that print made.
Yeah, it was about $160. Yeah, and he did 3 proofs. You know, what he charged me $5 a piece for the proofs, which is not bad.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and take a close look at that thing now.
But he's
I
got-
was trying to look at it while you was dragging me out the door.
Okay. You get a better chance now. All right.
Okay. All right,
Let
man.
me give you.
Between the computer and the sewing machine, you got what you need, huh? Make your pictures, make your clothes.
Hopefully tonight or maybe tomorrow night, I'll have my website. Oh, I've been working on that. I'm just about finished.
All right, sir.
Good to see you, brothers.
One God, one universe. All righty. I'm out. Always good to see you. Long time since Brooklyn, huh? Cambridge Place. Since I got a Facebook page, all these old folks from Cambridge Place in Brooklyn been finding me. Folks I ain't heard from like 25, 30, 35 years. Need to get a Facebook page. You really have fun.
I'm working on it. I want to do a whole group of them, him included. Hugh Bell.
Got a Facebook page? Facebook?
Of course not.
Facebook?
No, you don't
No,
do that.
not yet.
Do
I want to
that.
put mine up first, and
5 minutes once you get one, you start to
I
hear
got
from
to fill out what's
hear from the
happening.
people you want to hear from and people that you don't.
I have a little bit of problem sometimes with the grain on the internet, so I got to figure that out in terms of putting it on Facebook first.
I'm not even going to mess with that.
Just pull it. It's already open.
Look like it'll bite my ass.
All right, man. Thank you. Okay.
You still got that one?
That was a good one to read.
Just a little slice of history.
It's always about that.
New York, New York. I don't know.
So we go back over.
Yeah, you want to go to the B-Bar? I haven't even had breakfast.
Do you like spicy
and people
food?
don't even take me out to lunch anymore.
Do you like spicy food?
Huh?
You like spicy food?
No, especially not on an empty stomach.
Okay.
Anything around here, you know?
What about the other place?
Downstairs?
No, further down on Lafayette Street.
Where?
The other place near Bleecker Street. That other place we went on Bleecker Street. That's a better place.
Bleecker?
Yeah.
Just get in the cab and tell them where to go.
Okay, man.